see you on video. You know how this stuff works. Okay. We're adults here. We're in the 21st century.
Yes.
All right. So, here we go. He's got a nice shirt on today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Do you like it?
I like it.
I like your shirt too, Mike.
I like your shirt too, Travis.
Right. Thank you. Let me cut all the sound in the back.
And now for something special. The unit is self-contained with its own saddler, farrier, wheelwright and so on. It's a rigorous training dished out who know all there is to know about horses, and it brings results.
We take you behind the scenes now to show just some of the interesting aspects of this training.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine, the award-winning #1 podcast to create sound of horses from the ground up. Mike Stine is a registered journeyman farrier with an APF 1 accreditation. On this week's show, joining us here in the studio, we have Dr. Bart Halsberghe that'll be joining us, and we're going to be talking about understanding the importance of normal hoof function as the impact on the biomechanics, preventative and therapeutic benefits, and also dealing with split shoe benefits as well. All this and much more will be discussed here on Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. And over to my far right side is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing good. How are you, Travis?
I'm doing good. And don't forget, he's not on the show yet. He's sitting in the green room.
Right?
So, what do you do when someone's sitting in the green room, Mike?
What do we do?
You wait.
Wait.
You wait for him to get in the studio. But yes, the man who he's alluding to, Dr. Bart Halsberghe, will be joining us here in the next segment and throughout the remaining of the show. But first of all, I want to get caught up with Mike. Mike, we didn't do a show last week.
Right.
Because you got your telephone wrapped around your neck somehow.
Yes, and somebody pulled the cord really tight.
All the oxygen just went out of your brain. You forgot what was going on. You forgot that you told me that we were taking the day off last week.
Right.
And so I hope that was beneficial for you. Now,
well, it was.
Okay. And so now that it's beneficial for you, you told me that you were going somewhere this past weekend. Was it this past weekend that you were going?
Well, this past week.
No, past week. Okay.
Past week.
That's why you took Monday off, because you had to get on the road.
Right. I headed out on early Monday, worked over, and then Tuesday worked, and then Tuesday headed to Versailles, Kentucky, and did a lecture with Doc Redden on one of the podiatry lectures he does.
All right. So how'd that go?
It went well. Here's a picture of the class. There was about 25 people.
Well, hold on, Mike. Let me see that picture. You're just snapping it up there, and people want to look at it. They want to look at everyone that's on the picture. So there's Doc Redden right in the middle,
right,
holding his puppy dog.
Yeah, that's Tuck.
I know, and there's a little reflection on. Where are you at, Mike?
I've got hidden the very back.
Where are you at? I'm looking.
You see Nancy?
I'm looking.
Okay.
Oh, there you are, right in the middle,
Right.
Mike.
Yeah.
You don't have your hat on.
No, I don't have a hat on.
Everyone else has a hat on. I'm looking for a guy with a hat on.
I did not have a hat on.
So there you go. You're right there in the middle.
Right.
Look at that young lad up there. All right, and so this is a class of August 2025.
Right, and they gave us a piece of paper saying that we were there.
Very good.
You know, so
hold on. You flash it so much, people want to look at it and read it, Mike. So there you go. You don't have your state and license number on there, Mike. How do I know this is official?
Well, you know.
Just have to take your word for it, right?
Right.
All right.
But,
so what else did you get? Did you bring me anything?
A bad time.
Mike, you're supposed to bring me like a T-shirt or a hat or something. Anything when you go on these road trips.
Oh.
Was I?
Oh.
It's an unwritten law.
I did have a traveling experience on the way up.
What happened?
I had something happen to me that has never happened in all the years of wearing earplugs.
Earplugs, okay.
Earplugs, trying to keep what little bit of hearing I got left, right?
Right.
Well, Tuesday I was working, and I was done with power tools, and I pulled my earplugs out. And I've been wearing earplugs forever.
Since you were 10.
Since I was 10. So the tip of the earplug broke off.
Oh, God, no.
Oh,
that
yes.
is my worst case scenario, because I wear earplugs to bed every night. Because, well, at the time we had bulldogs and they snored.
Right.
So I would wear earplugs, and that's a worst case scenario. So what happened?
I've never had that happen before.
Did you plug your nose and blow like you're clearing?
Well, I thought about taking an air compressor and putting it in the other ear and see if it'd blow out the other side.
Clear the.
But I chose not to do that, and I had to. On the way up, I visited an urgent care, and they plucked it out of there.
You didn't have like a Mikey, you had
I couldn't get my fingers in there.
all the tools that you have in that truck of yours. You don't have a pair of like little needle nose pliers or tweezers or something like
You'd
that.
think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and just or even a corkscrew or just a regular screw, and just screw it in there and start the screw in the thing. I know everyone's going.
Well, at least they didn't push it in there deeper, so you know.
Well, it might have improved it. What's the cartoon with Homer Simpson? His whole entire life, he had a crayon stuck in his brain or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, maybe that was your problem. All right, guys. What else happened? Anything?
No, that was about it. Pretty good trip. Caught up with some friends and what all when I was up there.
Good fellowship.
Good fellowship. Remember Ryan, who worked with me a little bit?
Yes, part time. He was going to be. He was your shadow for a while.
For shadow, yeah. I was, ended up meeting up with Ryan, and he's going to work. Sounds like with a fellow by the name of Pat Broadus that does a serious racehorse farrier.
Oh, good. And that's kind of the field he was trying to get into, was it not?
Well, it is in that area. It's there's plenty of work.
Sure. Well, I wish him well in the future. All right, guys. When we come back, lots to get into, and we're going to talk to Dr. Bart Halsberghe, all the way from, I believe he's from Belgium. He'll correct me when we come back. So Stick around. You're listening to. I forgot what show I'm doing. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back.
You do so many shows.
I know, so many shows. We'll be right back. So that's basically how the show runs.
That's great. You guys are a funny pair. I like it. Good vibes.
Am I correct by saying Belgian? I forgot what I said.
Yes. I'm actually dual citizen.
Okay.
I'm Belgian and
Yes.
proud to be an American. Proud to be a Belgian.
Well, there you go. You get the pancakes and the waffles.
Right.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, you could join the podcast. The way you do that is to go to equinedynamics.com. At the very top of the page says, join the podcast. You can see all the past episodes that we've been doing here or have done in the past 4 years or so. Get caught up on all the past shows. And you can leave a voice message. It comes right to our inbox. We broadcast every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, a little town we like to call Marshall. Get your voice right in here, right alongside of us during the show. Your voice can be heard. Just go to equinedynamics.com. And over to my far end side, heard all over the world, is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing good. How are you, Travis? And how are you, Dr. Bart?
Good. Thank you. And thank you for having me on your show. Really excited about it. Some big names followed me, so happy to be on it as well.
And joining us all the way, and I believe I got that right, from Belgium, is Dr. Bart Halsberghe.
So we are going international.
We are international. And did I say that? I said that right. You are from Belgium, right?
I am from Belgium, yeah. I'm actually a dual citizen, so I'm American as well. So depending on who I'm talking to or where I'm at, I say I'm an American or I'm a Belgian.
Well, I don't know. If you were to come to America and with that accent say, I am American, and I'd be like, I don't know.
I have some of my clients that would like for me to get a citizenship somewhere else.
Yeah, it for sure. To have two passports.
And what was your reason between? Is it for work that you do that? And just, if it is for work, describe actually what you do. You are a doctor, and tell us what type of doctor you are.
Over the years, I specialized in sports medicine and rehabilitation. I graduated from vet school in Belgium back in 2003, and then always, as I like to travel, I started working abroad. Wanted to work just with horses and sport horses. And actually that brought me to America. And then I worked in the US for racing industry for 5 years in the South, Louisiana, Kentucky, Arkansas, that California, to work more with sport horses, medicine and rehabilitation. And then in 2018, I moved back to Belgium to be closer to the family. But I kept kind of going back and forward between both countries for work. And yeah, by moving through Belgium by accident, I got approached by a company that was developing a new horse horseshoe, and that's how I rolled into the farrier side of it and the horseshoeing side of it, and the equine podiatry. And so no foot, no horse, and equine podiatry, integrate that in my practice a lot.
So did you start, I always say that, did you start out as like a child on daddy's farm and you were the only one that was able to shoe horses? Daddy shoed horses, his brother shoed horses, Uncle Jim shoed horses. Did you start out that way, getting into the interest? What brought you into the interest? I know you said you went to school in 2006, 3, and 18, all that stuff, but what actually drove you into, as a child? I mean, did you have any other jobs, or that was it? I know I wanted to be in horses all the time.
Riding when I was 7, and basically started riding, started competing a little bit, mainly in eventing, and that just the love for the horse kind of. I was 15. I knew I wanted to become a horse vet, and started basically all through high school, taking the science classes, and then went to vet school. And I always had a big interest in sports myself. I was a triathlete myself. I competed in Ironman, and so I always really wanted to, from a veterinary perspective. So the lameness, the performance issues, preventing and fixing injuries. And then, like I said, a big part in these is having healthy feet. So I always had a big interest in podiatry. I'm not a farrier. I do know a lot about feet. I trim my own horses, but I'm definitely not a farrier. I think I'm always amazed how these farriers can shape these shoes and make it look so easy. It's really an art, I think. So I'm glad we have some good farriers, and it's definitely a tough job on their body. So I really appreciate them. But I don't think my body could hold it being a farrier. But I love working on feet, and I love working on feet together with farrier.
Now, Dr. Bart, he's a young man,
right?
Farrier team, I think, is very important in keeping these.
Yes, yeah, the team is very important to keep with, and Dr. Bart is a very young man. And, he's even recognizing that, hey, I don't want to be upside down. He goes, so he has more respect for
I haven't recognized that yet.
No, you have not recognized it yet. But on the same sense, Mike, we were talking about, you've got farriers out there that say, I'm a podiatrist. I'm a podiatrist. Here is Dr. Bart saying that I'm a podiatrist. I'm not a farrier.
Right.
And that's the first, I don't want to say.
It's like,
first, go ahead.
Like Dr. Mansman said, he was a veterinarian with an interest in podiatry.
Right.
And, I'm a farrier with an interest in podiatry, for sure.
So we want to talk about understanding the importance of the normal hoof care function and the impact on biomechanics, including, comparisons between the barefoot and traditional one-piece shoes. Now, explain what you're seeing out there in Belgium, in Belgian land.
Belgian land, yes.
Right. As far as what you're seeing there in Belgium compared to the horses and things that are happening here in the United States.
Yeah, I work very international. I think a horse is still a horse. Obviously, environments are different, footing some differences between feet, but I think shoeing overall, obviously, there's a very long tradition, and it's been a very conservative field to countries, for sure. But I think, what we often forget is true tradition. I think we often forget how dynamic a hoof is, and I think we often see it as something static, something pretty hard and resilient, but it can actually move quite a bit. And I think to realize over the years that, okay, shoeing is necessary in disciplines, whether it's actually providing more traction or providing less traction. In reining, we use sliders to get less traction, and other disciplines like jumpers or eventers, we need studs for more traction. But we often forget by putting a traditional shoe on that we compromise the hoof mechanism or the mobility of the foot for that protection or that traction or sliding that we're looking for. And although we're aware of it, I think over the years, think about it, but we kind of forget a little bit about the negative effects of shoeing. And more and more in the picture, those negative aspects of shoeing come back into the picture, and we're trying to find solutions to basically get the best of both worlds.
Is there any trick?
Help that barefoot for the horse, because it's very important and proper. Go ahead.
Is there any tricks of the trades that you've discovered in Belgium that you try to turn like American farriers or American ideas over here? Like, hey, over here we do this and this works really well, or is it a uniform language across the board no matter where you're at? I know you were saying there's a lot of traditions and everything in the background of shoeing of horses. Are you finding it that it's more? I guess, what am I trying to say, Mike?
More traditional over there, maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's a styling, of in Belgium that transfers or doesn't transfer over to the United States. I'm not sure if there's a question there, or if that's a question or a concern in itself. Because I'm always amazed between like what Florida does that North Carolina doesn't do. That type situation. So I'm trying to do the comparison between Belgium and the United States as far as, is there a standard in Belgium that's not a standard in the United States?
Honestly, I don't think it's that much different, but I think generally in Europe, and it depends from country to country, I think better schooling for farriers. The education they have to go through is generally more extensive than in the US. In the US, they actually don't necessarily need to go through farrier school. And some of these weeks to 32 weeks in general. So what I do notice, I think that most European farriers are skilled with the anvil and the shaping of the shoe, of the anatomy and the biomechanics of it. But obviously it depends. There's a very wide range, like with any profession. You have very, knowledgeable people that take the time to go to continuous education just to keep learning, and you have other people that graduate from the school and get their certification and never continue to learn. But shoeing wise, I think, it's pretty similar nowadays. It's also very international. Take continuous educations in different continents, different countries. They share information, whether it's through social media or through their connections, and also the industry and the type of shoes that are available are, kind of internationally available. So I don't think it's that much difference of what type of shoe we're using in Europe versus in the US. I think it's very much dictated by the discipline and the footing and the environment. The one thing I see maybe, and that's more shoeing cycle related, that I think American clients are a little bit better in keeping shoeing intervals short, because they know the negative effects that go with longer shoeing intervals. And in Europe, unless they're professionals, the amateurs tend to just from an economic perspective, to save some money.
All right, we're going to take a quick little break, and when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Dr. Bart Halsberghe here on Equine Dynamics. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics. We'll be right back. And we're recording again. So we're going to start over. All right, here we go. Not start over, but here we go. Here we go. All right, Mike, everything we just said for the last 20 minutes, I want you to say it all again.
All right. Exactly the same way.
Well, more with a French accent, if you could do that for me.
French, Belgian accent.
Belgian.
Well, you can do Belgian too. I think Mike would be better at the French one better, since he's such a potty mouth. All right, here we go. We're coming back. Mike, you ready?
Yes, I am.
Dr. Bart, you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
I brought the wrong shoe.
Oh, well. Welcome
Anyway,
back.
I do have one that's been used.
When I say ready, Mike, that means we're
Yes.
recording.
Go ahead.
Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Make sure you follow him over on Facebook. The way you do that is go to Equine Dynamics, Mike Stine over on Facebook. And the reason why you're going to do that is because you're going to see all the different articles, all the different pictures, all the different awards and trophies that Mike won over there from his last outing over at Dr. Reddit's place. You can see that over there. And it's just a breakup from your normal monotony stuff that's on Facebook. If you're an equine person, it's a guaranteed enjoyment over there on Equine Dynamics, Mike Stine Facebook. Now, he's got two Facebook pages. One is his personal page. One is the podcast page. Whatever you see on one is going to be on the other. So make sure you like both. That way you don't miss a single thing. And over to my far end side, my very own, not missing a single thing, is Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing good. Travis, how are you? And thank you for being with us, Dr. Bart.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And joining us on the phone, we switched from the video. If you're watching us on the video portion of the thing, we got it kind of delayed because Dr. Bart is in Belgium, and he's
It's
joining.
a long way between here and
Well,
there.
it's got to go up to the space thing, and I think the tariffs with the signal
Right.
was being applied there, so we weren't getting our full benefit from them. So we switched over to the phone call, and
We've not fully paid our tariff fees.
well, we will at the end of the show, I'm sure, and we'll pass that along to our listeners. So, but on the phone with us right now, all the way from Belgium, is Dr. Bart Halsberghe joining us here on the program. Thank you very much for joining us.
You are welcome.
And we left off on talking about the importance of the normal hoof and function and how it impacted. And you said that you're not seeing a whole lot of difference between Belgium, the way they're shoeing horses, and the whole ideology as far as American and European. But you did mention, the European, and I agree with this as well, that they have more schooling. There's more efforts for furthering education in the European nations as far as making sure people that are working on horses are qualified to work on horses, not like here in the United States. Go ahead, Mike.
There are a lot of opportunities for education. It's just whether or not people are willing to take advantage of it.
Yeah, it's not forced upon, and a lot of people don't know to do that. Dr. Bart, what were you going to say?
No, and Mike is correct. I think from a schooling perspective, I think the initial education is likely better in Europe or most countries in Europe. But at the same time, there is a lot of schooling available, continuous education available all over the world, and also within the U.S., very good schooling if people want to take the time and those opportunities to keep educating themselves. But I think that's the same for every profession. It's like a veterinarian too. If you come out of school, you don't know anything. I mean, you think you know, but you don't know anything. And it's up to you to continue to educate yourself and become smarter and better for the benefit of the horses. And I think with farriers, it's the same,
Now, if you were listening to during the last break, in the background, you probably heard some banging and bonging and stuff going on. Mike was over there trying to do something with these horseshoes and stuff, and he's got like a plastic protractor. What do you have in your hand? You said that's Dr. Bart's design?
Well, yeah, this is a gauge. I don't know if you can see all the writing on it there. That side's better. That you can use. You find your center of the hoof. Okay, turn it the other way.
It's upside down, Mike.
Everything's upside down in my world. But you find your center of your mass, your widest point of the foot, and you get lined up right, and that gives you a foot sizing gauge on here, so you can tell what should work on that horse.
And I don't understand how it works. So how do you put the shoe on there?
Well, you put the shoe on as one piece. You cut it, after you fit it, and you get you get your clips fit into the dorsal wall and everything, and you fit the shoe probably more like you would a race plate than the conventional steel shoe, because the foot's going to expand with the shoe, so you don't need to fit for expansion so much, and it gives expansion wise. It also gives as far as heels moving up and down and twisting and everything else. And so you cut it just about all the way through, and within not long, no more that's left there, it pops, and then it moves free with the foot.
Now, Dr. Bart, is this the company that you're working with, or is this the company, your very own company? Let me see this right here, Mike. Is it? And it says Bart Tech on it. Is that your company, or is this?
Yeah, now I'm part of the company, but when we started out, they just approached me to be a consultant to actually, that was back in 2018. It was just an idea. It's like, how can we grab the benefits of traditional steel shoeing and the barefoot benefits? How can we bring those two things together?
Right.
So, and the idea was, okay, how can we let that shoe move with the foot? And that's where we came up with the split shoe approach. So if you look at the shoe that Mike has there, it very much looks like a traditional shoe, except that it has 4 clips, 2 toe clips, 2 side clips, and that has a little bit more nail holes punched, and the nails are punched farther back, and the shoe is also a little bit thinner. So it comes as a one-piece shoe, but as Mike explained, then as you obviously trim the foot to a balanced foot, because trimming is still very important in the shoeing process, and then you apply the shoe. And after you apply the shoe, you will split the shoe in 2 equal halves. So those 2 branches, 2 halves can move independently of each other, and they actually move with the foot. So you allow that normal barefoot hoof mechanism to function, but you still have the protection that a traditional shoe provides. So you kind of bring the best of both worlds together. And so I got involved as an independent consultant, and then I started doing the field trials on it and collecting data on it. And then after a couple of years, as I saw the benefits of the shoe and the scientific results of our studies, and I became a partner in the company as well. But I'm still a veterinarian. I still have my veterinary company as well. So that's my main job. The Bartek company and the twin shoe, what we call it in the US, that I got involved by accident. But as I started to see the benefits of the split shoe approach through the studies on some of my own clients' horses, then I became more and more fan of it, and I'm a big believer of it.
Now, with this shoe here, Mike has run the gamut of all the different horses' problems with feet, with heart bars and crossbars and egg bars and all this stuff. This shoe is made for a horse that's already set. It's ready to go. It's not made to help any other problems up the bone column. Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, it was designed to be a preventative shoe, meaning you have a young horse, it's barefoot, but it needs some protection as you put it in training, or it's going to start moving over different surfaces. The idea was, okay, let's give it the protection, but still allow that hoof to move like it's barefoot. But through our research, which now we have data of over 4 years on some of these horses, we saw that it could be also very beneficial as a therapeutic application, where it was for certain hoof capsule distortions like low underrun heels or sheared heels, or for certain injuries like suspensory branch injuries, or for certain degenerative issues like joint osteoarthritis. And that's pure because of the better biomechanics that shoe allows, basically.
Mike,
so it has multiple applications.
Mike, you were going to say something?
Well, one thing with this shoe, there's a lot of things that have hit the market, that do have some movement to them. This has a lot of movement to it, but a lot of them.
It's two halves of a shoe.
Right. It moves. It moves more than a lot of the glue, the glue on polys and whatever else they're made out of. Part of the problem is with the glue ons is they're after a while, if you keep gluing, the hoof wall will deteriorate from damage from the glue. And if you don't have the foot really prepped and really cleaned, if you got fungus under there and you wrap it up in acrylics or your urethanes and you seal it up from there, most of these things in the foot are non-aerobic. So you gave it the perfect environment to spread.
So, Dr. Bart, you were talking about how this helps like new horses with their feet and stuff. Is this past the line of, or this is further outside of, a normal trim of the feet? When you see a baby horse, you don't put shoes on a baby horse's feet. So, at what age would you start leaning towards this split shoe technique on a horse?
Well, it'll depend a little bit from discipline to discipline. In show horses like jumpers, dressage, venters, they break them in at 3 or 4 years old. And if they have a need for shoes at that point in time, generally we need shoes. The first reason we need shoes is that the feet wear more than they can grow and they get foot sore. So we need shoes for protection, basically. And whenever that need there is, then instead of using a traditional shoe, you could already use the split shoe because, like I say, you're going to have the benefits of both worlds. In other disciplines like thoroughbred racing, they start already these young horses in training at 18 months, so there might be a need for a shoe there sooner. But basically, you could use it whenever you have a need that the foot needs protection, or in some cases, because of conformational issues or injuries, you could start using it in an earlier stage too, but then more as a therapeutic shoe or a shoe to help rehab the foot if it's been compromised.
Are you getting a lot of pushback in the horse community from riders and from owners or even trainers or anything about using the split technique, or is this kind of now accepted in the community? Because if you say I'm going to put a split shoe or a split horseshoe on a horse, I'll be like, well, what about when they dig into the gravel, the concrete, whatever that the surface is? I would be afraid that split would be path of least resistance. It's going to move and shift around and cause issues and stuff. Are you getting a lot of pushback in the community, or is it just kind of like once you explain it, hey, this is what we're going, this is the future, even though it's steel still, it's still, ancient times as far as the material?
I think from an owner or trainer perspective, not as much, because like I say, over the years, the barefoot benefits have come, more to the surface again, and people want their horses to be healthy and sound. I think the biggest pushback is unfortunately coming still a little bit from the farriers because they're very traditional and conservative.
Hard-headed.
Yeah.
And so, obviously they made it work in a certain way for hundreds of years. And so a lot, they say, well, I've been doing this for this many years. Why do I need this shoe? If what I'm doing is working. I mean, my answer is more, well, you can do better, so you have to keep evolving. It's not what you're doing is bad, but, if new ideas, new technology comes out and you can improve on what you're doing. And still for a farrier with adaptation, because it's still the steel shoe, you're still going to shape that same material and it's still a nail-on application. And you don't have the negative effects of the toxic glue or the glue that actually, then has negative effects on the hoof wall, or even sometimes fixate the heels more because you glue all the way up to the heel. So in a way, it's a nice solution for certain problems that we have with traditional shoeing. that we're trying to resolve to a certain extent with polyurethane shoes that are glued on or nailed on, but those have their limitations and are also much more expensive. And this split shoe approach, can do what these polyurethane shoes do, or even better, and they come in at a cheaper price as well. And for a farrier, it's not that much of an adaptation to its traditional trimming and shoeing approach.
All right,
but still, it's the idea. It's the concept of splitting is that people have an issue with it, that they think, okay, it's one hoof, why split it? It's not a cow, or and that's what they're struggling with.
All right, we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, we're going to dive into more of Dr. Bart Halsberghe talking to us here on the show. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. Don't forget, if you want to ask Mike Stine a question, and if you don't want to go on the air, that's okay. Some people are shy. Some people are scared. Some people have a bad internet connection, but we'll fix that all in the same sense. If you just want to email Mike, you can do that as well. Just go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says contacts. Fill out that little form. Make sure you put a physical return address, and we'll mail you out something from our little prize stash that we have here, and we'll answer your question right here on the air. That's equinedynamics.com, keyword contacts at the very top of the page, so look for that as well. And over to my far hand side, I'm going to talk to you about this here in a minute, is my very own holding things back, Mike Stine. How are you?
I'm doing okay, Travis. How are you? And how are you, Dr. Bart?
Still doing good. Thanks for asking.
And joining us here on the phone all the way from Belgium. That's why we had to switch from the video connection to a telephone call here. So we apologize, but we appreciate Dr. Bart Halsberghe's patience for being on the show and dealing with our little technical hiccup. We appreciate him. And it just shows you the patience of people across the sea. Now, Mike, I asked you,
right,
if you brought me anything back from your Dr. Redden's thing. You said no. I didn't know I was supposed to.
I didn't even think about you the whole time I was there.
I know. That's the sad part. And then you're sitting here and we're talking to Dr. Bart, and you've got his protraction thing over there. You've got his little keychain thing with the little gauge on it.
Yeah.
You've got his split shoes over there. You got all his stuff for you, but you didn't get me a single thing.
Well, I take care of the important people.
I'm just a simple button pusher, I guess, over here. So thanks a lot, Mike. All right. So on the phone with us, all the way from Belgium, like I said, we have Dr. Bart, and we're talking about the split shoe thing. And you were going to ask Mike as far as, and I was going to ask him too, because we were talking during the breaks. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube. You can see this all in real time as it happens. The whole entire podcast is in its entirety over on YouTube. Give them a subscribe. Just search Equine Dynamics Mike Stine and give them a subscribe. You were going to say, Dr. Bart, you were going to ask Mike if he's used the shoes before. What was your question for Mike as far as the shoes? Because I have the same question, I think.
Yeah, I met Mike in North Carolina, and he was interested, as he's a guy that always is looking to learn more and get experience with new things and new ideas. He was interested in the split shoe approach, so we gave him some shoes, and he was going to try them out. So I'm interested in his experience so far.
And I have been trying them out. There is a little bit of a learning curve on fitting them. You fit it a little more like a race plate. And I've done a little bit of thoroughbred flat track shoeing in past history. And one thing that I would suggest with people who are using these, because you end up notching the wall for your toe clips, and you seat it in, especially like on your thoroughbred horse, they're really flat in the back of the foot. Cooling your heels off when you're fitting so you don't sting them in the heels.
Exactly, yeah.
And
now, Dr. Bart, do you have, Mike says, it's a learning curve for these split shoes. Do you have a video, like a how to apply and a why do you apply these videos anywhere, located anywhere?
Yeah, actually, on our website, bartechequine.com, we have a lot of videos that show the shoeing application, how to do it, why to do it. Has a lot of information on the research that we've done and the field trials and the outcome. So any questions you have about it, or you want to learn more about it in general, you actually can find on our website, or you can always contact us through email or with a phone call as well. We're always happy to help. But it's like Mike said, it's definitely a little bit of a learning curve in the application because, with traditional shoes, like Mike said earlier, we fit a little wide and we nail with as few nails as possible. Because although the shoe limits the hoof mechanics and especially the heel movement with traditional shoes, we try to limit that negative effect by shoeing wide, using minimal nails, so the hoof can move over the shoe and can grow into the shoe. And with the split shoe, you don't have to do that because the shoe and the hoof move as a unit. So you can do actually a very tight fit, what we call a perimeter fit, like they use a lot in race horses. And you actually nail with 3 to 4 nails instead of 2 to 3 nails per side. And setting the toe clips into the hoof wall is very important as well, because when you split the shoe, you lose some stability, and you need to bring that stability back to keep the shoe on the foot through your application process, which is the shaping of the shoe to the hoof, the nailing pattern, and the setting of the clips.
Right. And with a traditional shoe, you end up with wearing the nail holes walled out, and these really do not wallow out the nail holes. And also with a traditional shoe, when the foot's is moving and working and grinding between the grit, getting in there and everything else on the back of the heels, it will wallow out a place in the heel, in the steel shoe. On these, it moves with the foot, so it's not eating into the shoe. It's just sitting on top of it.
So here's the question I have. Get ready, everybody. Everyone, get your eyes, get ready to roll in the back of your head. Can't you just split a normal shoe in half and do the same exact thing? Does it have to be, Jaguar gasoline for Jaguar cars type deal?
Well,
anyone want to take that bait and run with it?
I can answer it, but maybe Mike wants to answer it too. But I would say no. You cannot take a regular shoe and split it. It's most likely not gonna stay on.
No, you can't.
Unless you have a very, very strong foot.
Right.
So this shoe has been engineered basically to regain the stability that we lose by splitting it. So it can stay on the foot throughout the whole shoeing cycle, but move with the foot. And there's some specific details in the shoeing that help with that. Yes.
Right. And I have split shoes, and after I saw your shoe the first time a few years ago, I took a regular, like an SX8 Kirkhart, and modified it, and I pulled some toe clips in the I took one that was pre-clipped and then pulled toe clips and split it. But the nail hole placement, unless you go back and completely repunch your nail holes and everything else in it, you're not going to keep it on very long.
What if I was to have, all right, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, because this, like I said, I'm the one who doesn't know anything. Why can't, I'm like looking at it as a simpleton. Why can't you just have a raw slug shoe, horseshoe, and have a template to where the nail holes go and just kind of, bump, 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 and then now split that shoe that you got, and then
you can go down to the construction site and get a piece of rebar and flatten it out, and then turn it. And
by golly, I will. If I can find a construction site, I will. Yes.
And you can make a horseshoe out of a piece of rebar if need be.
Right.
But how much hammering do you want to do that day?
Well, depends.
And how many horses do you want to get done at the end of the day?
It depends on who I'm mad at and for how long.
And that's the thing, farriers are trained to make any type of shoe out of bar stock. So you can do it, but the question is, do you want to do that to your body? And especially nowadays, that's why we have all these 100 types of different shoes depending on the type of foot, the need. So the farrier has to, do less work to get the shoe that he wants to and save his body a little bit.
All right, we're gonna take one more little break and let you get back to your pony. So stick around. You're listening to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. He'll be right back. I'm calling shenanigans.
Okay, shenanigans. You are shenanigans.
Well, what I'm saying shenanigans is, Mike, I thought that was a broken shoe off your truck when you brought it in.
It is a broken shoe off my truck. And it broke on the horse's foot.
But the reason why I'm thinking like the 1920s or 1930s or whatever like that, and like, hey man, this thing ain't fitting on my horse. Well, cut it in half. I mean, that would be the first thing you would do. Back in the day, you didn't know the angles of the horse and putting nail holes in it. Well, it's not fitting on my horse right. Well, cut the damn thing in half. Oh damn, I didn't think of that. And then you nail it on and like boom, now you're a millionaire and your name's Bart Tech.
Well, you could go cut down your neighbor's fence, twist it together, and make a bar out of it, and then forge weld it into the back of the shoot add-on.
Jeez. What if we put 4 wheels on the car? It's that type deal. Oh.
And I know on one of these farrier clinics we did, I met an old rancher farrier, and he said, in the old days we would shoe these ranch horses, and they would keep these shoes on forever, and the horses would split the shoe on their own, because they were wearing out so much at the toe.
Right.
And then they noticed that these ranch horses were actually starting to move better over the terrain in these split shoes because the foot was able to move on that uneven footing.
Well, the ones I've put on, there's a minimal amount of toe wear compared to the rigid shoe.
Right. And that's, I think what's amazing is you have minimal and very balanced wear, which tells me that the shoe doesn't interfere with the normal biomechanics of the horse, And I think that's a very important observation with these shoes.
I just, in my mind, I look at it and it's just like a simple solution. Just cut it in half. Oh, man, I know there's a little bit more to it.
The best ideas are simple ideas, but you have to think about it. And like that, in the beginning, we definitely struggled with keeping them on. So there's a lot of detail in the little changes in the shoe, like we explained and Mike explained, and also the shoeing application that makes the concept work.
Yeah. All right. I'll go with it. I won't like it, but I'll go with it.
You're one of these that are hard to convince.
It's not that I'm hard to convince, because like I told you, Bart, I don't know. I mean, other than what I learned on the show and what my wife tells me, I have no educational background as far as horses. So when you say, oh, you need this horseshoe that I just cut in half. Well, why? Well, because it makes it's that kind of concept. I'm like, well, I want a full horseshoe on there. I don't want to have a horseshoe on there.
Which means I can sit here and feed him full of anything, and he believes it because he thinks I know something.
Right, exactly.
There you go.
All right. Welcome back to Equine Dynamics with Mike Stine. If you'd like this podcast to perform at your clinic, your location, your very own front door, we can do that as well. We can bring this podcast straight to you just as you hear it here on the show. Just contact Mike. Go to equinedynamics.com. At the top of the page says clinics. Fill out that little form. We can bring this right to your very own back patio, front patio, as long as you got some AC or fans for us. And if it's cold out, make sure you have some firewood going as well. We'd appreciate that. We can do this right for you. Just go to equinedynamics.com at the very top of the page. Do that as well. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube. And if you want to be part of the show, go to equinedynamics.com and be heard, join the podcast. And over to my far end side, my very own social media manager is Mike Stine. How are you?
I am doing good, Travis. How are you? And thank you for gracing our presence and show. And if I could talk the right way, I'd get it to work, right? Dr. Bart.
Oh, Dr. Bart. I thought you were talking to me.
No, nobody talks about you like that.
And joining us this week all the way from Belgium is Dr. Bart Halsberghe, joining us here. And he is was part of Bart Tech. And now you're working with another company. And what's the name of that company again, one more time?
I'm working for Bart Tech, which is the shoeing company that brings out the twin shoe. But I also have my own sports medicine and rehabilitation veterinary business, which is Global Equine Veterinary Consulting.
Gotcha. And say you were, because you gave us the American version of your name. Tell us what your Belgian name, how do you pronounce it in your native tongue? How do you pronounce your full name?
In my native tongue, it would be Bart Halsberghe.
One more time so we can hear it clearly.
Bart Halsberghe.
Say that again, Mike.
I'm not even going there.
Bart Hellsburg. Did I say it right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Close enough.
Close enough, right? Just don't call me late for dinner. All right, Mike. What did we learn today?
What did we learn today?
All the way from Belgium, Dr. Bart Halsberghe has joined us, and he has a background. And you're a doctor. What was your doctorate in?
Well, I'm a doctor in veterinary medicine, and I'm also a boarded specialist in equine sports medicine and rehabilitation.
And you were saying how you got started in the business. You were riding at a very young age?
Yeah, I was riding at a very young age. Started riding at 7 years old, and that the love of the horses kind of pushed me into veterinary medicine, and the love of the sport as well. And so got into the sports medicine, worked all over the world, basically, Europe, US, even China. And then as I learned more and more through continuous education and working on these top athletes, realizing also how important the feet were. And then through connections, I got involved with the development of a new horseshoe, the split shoe that we talked about a little bit earlier. And now I combine both passions, feet and veterinary medicine, sports medicine.
Now, how long have you been? How long did you start doing the split horseshoe? Is it just recently, or this has been going on for quite some time now? About what year did you start implementing this?
It's now 7 years. Yeah.
Oh, so it's still brand new. I mean, in the sense and the scope of.
There's been a lot of development going on.
Yeah.
We worked on the development for 5 years, and it's now basically 2 years available on the U.S. market. Yeah. So it's only the last 2 years that it's available to the general public and the farriers. But the first 5 years, we basically worked on R&D, research and development, make sure the product was solid before it hit the market. Yeah.
Right, and they are doing some educational clinics. They did one at Dr. Fernando's 4-H veterinary clinic, where I went through one of their clinics also.
And Mike, let me see that protractor thing that you got there. And I say protractor because everyone here in America, we've had these little plastic half moon protractor things in school that they make us buy in elementary school. And if you're watching this on the YouTube video, I'm holding it up in front of the camera here. Actually, hold it in front of camera 9 there, underneath camera 9. I'm going to switch to camera 9. It doesn't matter. This one right here. This is camera 9.
This is camera 9.
Yep. And flip it over. You got it upside down again.
Have it?
Yep. There you go.
Is that right?
Close enough. And if you're looking at watching this over here on the video, and this is explain, Mike, how the protractor thing works, and maybe Dr. Bart can kind of fill in the blanks where Mike's missing it.
Well, you're fitting for the widest part of the foot.
So do you put that protractor on the bottom of the horse's foot, or you put the shoe on the protractor?
Either or.
Okay.
But you can lay this on the foot, and you can make your guideline marks, and because you need to not be twisted one way or another. You need to be set square with the center of the toe when you put your clips in, because if you're here, it's not going to operate quite like it should.
Is Mike missing anything on this? I'm sure he's missing a whole bunch on it. So, Dr. Bart, can you expand a little bit more?
Yeah, but basically we designed that. We call it the Hoof mapper, but it helps, first of all, to map out what an ideal balanced foot should be, so that helps you then with your trimming. And then it also helps you, like Mike explains, to set the toe clips in the center line of the foot, so the shoe is centered on the foot and not turn a little bit left or right, which will screw up your shoeing. And then at the same time, you can see what size of split shoe or twin shoe you need for that particular horse. And then you can also, with that hoof mapper, follow a little bit the development of the foot. If the foot is getting bigger, it's changing his shape. So it's basically a tool to help the farrier assess the foot, the balance of the foot, and the help to do a proper shoeing application.
Go ahead, Mike.
Right, and if I would remove this plastic cover, it would be.
Oh, you got
clear.
the protective cover on there?
I've not taken that off yet.
We'll take it off. There he goes. He's going to take it off.
Well, you can't.
Use your nails, Mike.
I have to go out to the truck.
Oh, he's using this handy dandy Bart Tech keychain that he got
I have
there.
to go out to the truck to get my nails.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There.
All right, so much
That
better.
looks a lot better.
That'll be broken in a week, I'm sure.
Sure.
Now, Dr. Bart, do your horseshoes come split already, or are they perforated already? Are they, kind of, and you snap them? How does that split?
No, they come as a one-piece shoe, but between the two toe clips, there's a two indicator grooves, basically, where it's already a little bit thinner.
Right.
And, so then basically you shape the shoe to the foot, and once you're ready to nail it on, you will take a bandsaw or a grinder and basically remove material where those indicator grooves are between the two toe clips until you have a little bit of material left, so it's still in one piece, your shoe, and then you will nail it on. And then once you nailed it on and you finished everything like a regular shoeing, then you can take a hacksaw and split the shoe, cut that last piece of metal, or the weight of the horse will split it on its own. And then you basically have two branches that can move independently, and then you will see over time throughout the shoeing cycle that gap in the toe, that shoe gap will widen, and that's where that keychain
You can
comes
measure.
in.
It's got it in
it
millimeters.
basically measures the gap.
Yeah, that's what Mike has holding in his hand here on the video. If you're watching this on the video, he's got a gap measurement, like if you're gapping your spark plugs and stuff.
Right.
Right.
So there you go.
It measures the gap, and the size of the gap will guide you in the beginning when you have to reshoe that particular horse.
Right.
All right, Dr. Bart, where can our listeners find you, get a hold of you? How can they contact you or see any of the videos that you have for this miraculous split shoe?
Well, all information is available on our website, www.bartechequine.com. They can also email us at info@bartechequine.com. That's probably the two best ways. We do have a Facebook page, and they can also call us if they want a one-on-one consult at 262-203-5111.
Mike, you want to add anything else?
Yeah, it's talking about cutting it through. You can cut these things to just about through. I mean, just
barely,
just an eighth of, or not even an eighth of an inch holding is all you need, and maybe
Right.
a 16th of an inch. I mean, just about gone. And if you do that, you walk the horse down the barn hall and back,
split
and
it.
it's popped right there.
Well, very good. Well, we'd like to thank Dr. Bart Halsberghe for joining us this week.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me at your fantastic show. Really enjoyed it.
And on behalf of Mike Stine over there,
Thank you, Dr. Bart, and everybody enjoy your ponies and have a good day.
my name is Travis saying see you next week.
All of the doggies are in the corral.
And we're clear. All
All
right.
of your work
Which
is
is fine.
Good
done.
job. Woo.
Just close your eyes and dream.
Yeah, I wish I would have known about the split. See, this is what happens. People give me a list of stuff they want to talk about, and then I dive a little bit more, and they're like going, well, Dr. Bart's got this split shoe. I'm like, hold on a minute. I want to know about the split shoe. I don't care about all this other stuff.
We can do.
We can talk about the other stuff all day long, any other time. I got the guy on the phone who's talking about the Bart shoe thing.
Well, we can do a follow up later on with Dr. Bart.
All right, well, very good.